Fight fans, welcome back to Carlo Prusa MMA. Today we have a very, very special guest. My guest is getting ready to return to the UFC Octagon, fighting in Paris. He is the Zulu Warrior. He is Mr. Bolaji Oki. Bolaji, what's up, my friend? How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. What's up?
Not much, man. So last time you were out in action, fought in the Apex over in Las Vegas. Ended up fighting Michael Aswell. Short notice fight. Went in there, got the job done. Looking back at it, man, what did you think of the performance?
Yeah, they changed my opponent last minute, so I was like, okay, let's see who we're gonna face. Then he was a tough dude. I expected to finish him, but he was a lot tougher than I thought. So obviously, I'm glad that I won the fight, but I wanted the finish. I wanted this the only little thing.
Absolutely. What from a mental standpoint, what is that like? You know, you're 3, 4 days out, you've been training a guy for absolutely weeks, and all of a sudden you're fighting a new opponent. I mean, did the strategy change?
Yeah, it's different fighters, so different style. Yeah, I was prepared to fight a guy that moves differently. It's like, okay, it sucks because you've been preparing for a guy and then they change you like the last week, and it's not the first time. So it's like I know what it's like, but you adapt, and that's what I did. I adapt myself, and we got the victory. So in the end of the day, it's all it counts.
You know, that was the first fight since your first loss in the UFC. To get that one back, get back on the win column from a whole mental standpoint here, did that just bring you a lot of good energy?
Yeah, for sure, man. Because in my mind, I had to get that victory, that win, and yeah, it was a great feeling. And now I'm on the winning. The first time that I lost, it was like my first fight, and since then I never lost since the last time. So I was like, okay, now let me get back to where I was starting. So yeah, all good now.
You know, man, you have so much power. You're probably one of the hardest hitting guys in the division. You're so much fun to watch. For you, was that natural? Have you always had this power?
I don't think it's only power, it's also the precision and the timing of when you strike, So yeah, I always had the intelligence to know when to strike. And of course, I'm a Nigerian Zimbabwe, we have that power, so that's normal for me.
You know, obviously, in addition to having the power, the accuracy, one thing I love about you, man, when you go up to the fight, there is a lot of going forward. You're looking for the finish. You have that killer instinct. Do you take a lot of pride in that fighting style?
Yeah, of course, man. That's what I love to do, That's what everybody likes and wants to watch, and I'm here to deliver, So I'm always looking for a finish and to hurt my opponent and get the win as soon as possible.
Absolutely. So this next fight, a little bit of a difference in scenery. You're going from the Apex with like very limited people, and you're going to Paris and fighting in one of the craziest arenas, craziest crowds in all of combat sports. When you were told that you could fight Mason Jones in Paris, were you excited from the get go?
Yeah, I was like, let's go, because we've done our research, and we saw he's a tough guy who likes to strike and go to war. So I knew it's gonna be an absolute war, So yeah, everybody likes that kind of fight, and that's what we're gonna deliver.
You know, for you, we talked about the last time we talked about you're a showman, man. You're an entertainer. You go out there, you like the fans. There's a lot of things you want to do in the future. Do you get excited when you get to know you're going to fight in a big packed arena?
For sure, because Paris, it's obviously it's not far from Belgium, and so it's like it's I feel it's like my crowd, and when you have a big crowd giving you that much energy, you feel pumped up, and you're like, okay, I'm ready to go, ready to kill. It's different from the Apex because you don't have that much people, but in Paris, I know it will be stacked, so I'm really eager. I want to go over there and make some big noise, make a war, make a statement, and everybody screaming my name. And so it's like a dream, just living the dream.
It's crazy to see how mixed martial arts has exploded. 20, 25 years ago, it wasn't as accepted. Now, I mean, you're watching MMA all over the world.
Yeah.
When you first got into it, what was the scene like in Belgium and other countries around that area? Were there a lot of events?
Uh, you know, uh, in France, it was like illegal, so they didn't have any MMA over there. They had to go into Belgium. So to my country, we had events, but even then, the MMA wasn't that big. So we had to move, left and right to have the opportunity to have a big fight and big events. So with time, it's MMA is getting bigger worldwide, so it's good for everyone and for Belgium and France. But like it's been, I don't know how many years, but it's like MMA in France is like it's new, but it went bam, it went up super fast, and the events are piping up. So yeah, it's good for everyone.
Do you take a lot of pride in knowing you're one of those guys who are really helping pave the way and grow the sport in Belgium?
Yeah, for sure. I'm super proud because I'm not the first one. I'm maybe the fourth Belgium to come to the UFC, but for now I am the only one. But no, not the only one, because now there's a second Belgium in the UFC who just signed. So, but I'm super proud, to be one of those who opened the door, for the other fighters to look up and say to themselves that if he can, I can also. So yeah, I'm super proud, and it's only the beginning. It's only the beginning of the adventure, and I'm looking up to continue and make a big statement and growing to the division.
We talked about before when I had you on here of how difficult it is to try to make it to the UFC. There's so many sacrifices. Your whole life is training and dedicated to this sport. You've made it. You're now becoming a name. People are starting to get to know who you are. You're a featured bout in Paris here. How much fun are you having right now, Bolaji? How much fun are you having on this journey?
Man, like I said, it's a dream for me because when you first start MMA, you're like looking up to the UFC and saying, "Wow, I want to do that. I want to be part of the UFC." And then you have that whole journey to go over there, and now you're finally here, And I'm like, okay, now I'm at the UFC, but the job's not finished. You still have to go there, perform, win, and so everything is like a dream coming true. But I never stop focusing and never stop knowing what's my goal. And so yeah, I'm having fun. I'm just living the dream, because at the end of the day, we like fighting. I love fighting, and I get to do what I love to do, so that's perfect for me.
Absolutely. So you're fighting this time around. You're taking on Mason Jones, a guy who has multiple UFC contests under his belt, is a big name in Cage Warriors. Overall, what do you think of him as an opponent?
Yeah, he's a good opponent, though. He's a tough. He's complete. He likes to strike. He can grapple, wrestle, everything. So he's a big name, and that's good also for me, because I know that when I'm gonna knock him out, I'm gonna make a big jump to the division, and and from there, make another statement after statement. So it's a good opponent for me. I think we suit well. It's gonna be a big bang, and I'm sure I'm gonna win that fight.
This one has fireworks written all over it. When you look how you fight, when you look how he fights, I mean, there's a lot of standing, there's a lot of striking, and there's a lot of power here. Um, Going into it, have you pretty much come to the realization someone's getting knocked out?
Yeah, for sure. He's gonna want to knock me out, and I'm gonna want to knock him out. So somebody's going down. But I'm sure it's not gonna be me. So yeah, for sure. But that's the the game that we play. One is gonna win, one is gonna lose, and may the best man win. And we're both preparing for this fight, and so yeah, I'm pumped and ready, and I'm a warrior. I'm the Zulu Warrior, so that's what we do. I go to war, and I win wars, and that's all.
So this time around, you go from doing the Apex, a smaller cage, and you get doing a bigger cage here in the big arena in Paris. Do you like fighting in a bigger cage? Do you have a preference between the two?
I don't care, because at the end of the day, it's just me and him, and the space we have can be bigger or smaller. I know he's not gonna break out of the cage, not gonna jump out of the cage, so he's gonna be trapped in there with me, and that's it. So a smaller, bigger, I don't care.
Absolutely. With a big win over Mason Jones, do you feel like you're pretty close to being a ranked fighter?
I hope so. I hope so. And if not, I'm just gonna continue to beat to beat some fighters until I make it over there. And then beat ranking guys and getting myself to the top.
Absolutely. In addition to being a fighter, another interest of yours is music. Have you been working on maybe the new entrance song? Have you thought about this? Maybe coming out your own song?
Of course, I've been thinking about it, and but I'm still working on it. So it's not gonna be for now, because when I come into the music, I want it to be like a big bang. I want it to be like boom, and like everybody's gonna be like, whoa, I didn't know that he can strike, and also strike in the music also. So I'm preparing for it, but I'm just taking my time. I'm like, okay, let's make it time after time. My time is gonna come into the UFC, and also into the music, and in the future to the movies. So yeah, I have big plans for the future. The future is bright.
From a music standpoint, who are some of your inspirations in the world of music?
Well, when I grew up, like 50 Cent was really my number one, and in French rap, it was Booba. It's a French rapper, and so. But there's so many rappers that I listen that inspired me. But I was really like, oh, 50 Cent. Every song that he made, I used to know by heart all of his songs. And Booba as well. But now I'm grow up, so times go, and you have so many artists, and now I write song by myself, and yeah.
So if we're going to do 50 Cent here, top three 50 Cent songs of all time, who are you putting on there?
Ooh, top three. Oh man, there's so many. In the club was something, man. In the club, dum dum, with the beat and everything. Candy Shop, one of my, I loved it. Many Man. There's so many. I can't like put a top three, but there's so many songs that I loved from him, and so many generations. Cause when he started from the last album, there's so many songs. But yeah, I would say like In the Club, Many Men, and the third one. Uh, Let me put just a little bit also.
Very, very, very good. It's very easy to tell when I'm talking to you, man. You see your personality. You have a lot of personality. For you, has it always been the case? Have you always been a very personality driven guy?
No, that's just me. I'm not trying to be someone else. I'm just me. So I'm the kind of guy who's just natural. So and people feel also the energy that I bring in the music, or in the fighting, or just by talking to me. So that's just who I am.
Absolutely. You're a very positive individual. And one thing I can tell you're very strong mentally. Do you feel that helps you in the fighting game?
Of course, because the thing is that the way that I think also is like, what's supposed to happen is gonna happen no matter what. You can't even do anything. Of course, I did my best and my all to do everything to win, But at the end of the day, I believe in God, and I believe that He's gonna show me the way, and I don't have to fear nothing. So why am I going to be like depressed or be like, oh, no, you can't do this, you can't do that? No, you have to say to yourself, you can. Yes, I can. Yes, I will. And that's how I've been where I've been. That's how I have grown that much and went to the UFC and deliver what I deliver. So it's a mental where nothing can break you. And if you fall, you just get back up and you continue. There's no problem to fail. But it's a problem to not try. It's a problem to not do whatever you can to to succeed. So I always believed in myself, and I'm like, okay, I can do this. If those guys can, why couldn't I do the same? If Conor McGregor came from nothing to be a millionaire, well, I can do also. What did he do? He just strike, knock out people, and he talks good. Yes, okay, we can do the same. So I'm like, yeah, I'm positive. I'm positive. So the 6th September, I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna win and I'm gonna knock him out, and then I'm gonna be ranked and go to the top 10, to the top 5, and one day I'm gonna get that belt, and that belt's gonna be around me, and then I will be a legend, the Zulu Warrior legend. So yeah, I believe in that and in myself, and I know I'm gonna do it. Because if I don't think like that, then you're already finished. Then why are you doing it? Why are you going to fight if you like, oh no, this, oh no, that? Well, don't do it. Stay home, go back to your mama and go back, find a job that's secured. But life, you don't get nothing if you don't try nothing also. So that's my mentality.
Absolutely. All right. Before I let you go here, I want to run by some big UFC fights coming up. I want to get your prediction on who you think's going to win some of these big matchups. So we got a really fun one here soon. It's Diego Lopez. He's taking on Gian Silva. Who wins this big lightweight contest?
That's a good one, but I think Diego Lopez. I like Diego Lopez, so I'm gonna go for Lopez.
Yeah, recent one that just got added is a big middleweight main event. It's going to be Anthony Fluffy Hernandez taking on Rainier de Ritter. Who wins this contest?
Ooh, that's a good one also. And the Raider is on a run. Is doing a great job. And it has a style, that's it's weird, but it works. But I still have to go for Hernandez because I feel he's so dangerous and he wants it. He wants it so bad, and I think he gets the job done.
So big 135 contest, title fight. We got Merab Devashvili taking on Corey Sandhagen. Who wins that one?
That's a good one also because Corey Sanhagen is also a very, very good striker, and I think he could outstrike Merab, but Merab is also something else, man. He has that cardio, unfinished cardio. He can bring you down, strike, bring you down, strike, make you tired. Even mentally, it has to be like hell. So I'm gonna go for Merab because yeah, he has everything that can break you.
All right, so the last one here, we got a big rematch in the 205 division. We got Alex Pereira Chama looking to get the belt back, taking on Magomedov Ankalaev. Who wins it the second time around?
That's a good one also, but I love Shama. So I'm gonna say Shama because I believe with him, one left hook and it's done. But he has to make some adjustments because Ankalaev is very good also. So I hope he make the adjustment and he can knock him out.
We just talked about some of the biggest names in the sport right now. Obviously, you compete alongside everybody. But when you're watching the big fights, do you get any inspiration off these guys? Do these fights pump you up and motivate you?
Of course. Even not only the big fights, even the smaller fights. every time I look the fights, I'm pumped up. If I see a good finish, a good scramble, good, I'm like, oh, I'm always, studying like, oh, he did this like this, he did this like that. And for sure, you like, my mind is like processing everything and being like, yeah, me too, me too, me too. I want it also, I want it also. So for sure, when you see the big fights, the history fights, you're like, pumped up, and you're like, yeah, one day it's gonna be me.
For you, what's the ultimate goal, Bolaji?
Become champion, legend, and become rich, rich as hell.
There you go. All right,
Uh,
Balaji, last question for me, my friend. In a perfect world, what is the outcome on September 6th when you fight in Paris against Mason Jones?
you see this? Pow, 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 pow. Good night. My hands raised up, and the winner, the Zulu Warrior. And that's it, man. A knockout, beautiful knockout, spectacular fashion. A war I'm expecting, but I'm gonna win this fight, and you can bet on it.
Absolutely. Well, hey, Balaji, man, thank you once again for your time. Always a pleasure talking with you and very, very excited for this fight. I think it's a great opportunity for both of you guys, and I can't wait to watch it.
Yes, thank you for the invitation, and I can't wait. Also, man, let's go. I'm ready.
Well, that's it for us today. I'm Carl Prusa. He is the Zulu Warrior. He is Balaji Oki. You can watch him September 6th, fighting in Paris, taking out Mason Jones. Don't blink, fight fans. It's going to be a crazy one. Take care.